So I want to show you today some of the things you can do in your small business. So I'm Alan. I've worked at an enterprise for over 10 years and I've built multi-million pound systems and support multi-million pound systems. So what I want to actually do today though is show you the kind of things as a small business you can do, because I think you can get a lot of businesses, they get especially in the startup phase, they do a Google, they think what are the kind of things I need to do in my business, and if you need to do like customer relations, and so they'll Google something like customer relations system like CRM, and then they'll find things like this Pipedrive, Salesforce, HubSpot. I mean, these are massive companies. I'm not saying they're bad, but as somebody that's just starting out on day zero, you probably don't need to spend any money on any of this stuff. If you're going to just choose something off the shelf, I would probably choose something, depending if you're into software or software development. Pipedrive seems to be a good one. Salesforce is just way too big in my opinion. And HubSpot is another one you can have a look at. But there's a lot of them. Either just pick one. If you want to spend some money, get started for free, just pick something. I don't think it really matters. So I've got HubSpot, but also just a very simple Google Sheet would do you. So open up Google Drive, create a Google Doc, and put somewhere where you're going to start tracking, or Google Sheet rather. So Google Sheets. And just start tracking your customers there. Okay. There's lots of templates online, so I'll probably share one in the comments later. I might build a new one. So I would just do that, the first thing. Don't overthink it. So the next thing you're going to need is, you're going to need a website. So what can you use as a small business? So depending on what you're doing, if you're a software business, you're going to approach this differently. But if you're a regular small business, maybe you've got a plumbing business or you're an electrician, I'd probably use something like Hostinger. Okay, Hostinger, they offer cheap web hosting, and they have also a lot of web builders, this kind of thing. So Hostinger, I use this for my own enterprise. I also have other hosting services, but if you're a small business just starting out, Hostinger is perfect. They have these web building tools, so I think if WordPress, so they have a lot of different sites, so depending on what you're building, you can go for, if you want to do e-commerce, WooCommerce is really good, so you can get a specific hosting for that. If you're just doing a regular business website, you need just like to put your calling card essentially there. Managed hosting for WordPress is perfect for that. I'd probably just do that. So I'll just show you how quickly you can set up a website. So I'll go to my Hostinger account. So I wouldn't overthink it. So let's go to websites. Let's see if I can just do this. So I actually manage a lot of other people's websites for them. So that's what's nice about Hostinger. If you need professional help, you can actually delegate. Once you've got your account, you can delegate to one of the professionals that can help you build out something a bit more complex, but that's why I like it. So let's build a new, so they've actually got this Hostinger Horizons thing, so you can actually try this AI tool, build something like that. So let's try that. Actually, I've not used that before. So this looks similar to Lovable. So okay, let's say I'm a plumber, so I'm going to say build me a website for a plumbing business. So obviously what you would want to do is give a lot more context. So this is just going to give me some basic template, but what you'll do, put your details in, like maybe your address, your phone number, your email address, all of that kind of stuff, put it in here, and it's going to go off and build you a website. So this is kind of the world we live in now. You know, you can get something up and running very quickly. You don't need to hire a web designer. If I'm honest with you, I would still recommend hiring a professional if you want to talk to me or talk to somebody else about, you know, if you've got something you want to build, like a specialized software or software as a service, and you want to sell those products, then yeah, you'd probably want to talk to an engineer or a designer or something like that. So is it doing this? Let's have a look. Click next. Okay, next. Is this working? Done. Okay. Oh, before, so it's asking me some questions. What's the main goal? Let's build demo site of your choice. So while that's working, we're building out a website. The next thing you're going to want are business cards. So where do you get business cards? Vistaprint are fine for business cards. I've used them lots of times. Also another place is Moo. Moo, they provide a little bit more high quality in my opinion, a bit more expensive, but I also like Moo. They've also got template builders and all kinds of stuff, so don't overthink it. Get yourself some business cards. If you're going to do networking, you're going to need business cards, so use either Vistaprint or Moo. That's what I recommend. And the next thing is, what else you're going to need in a startup? Email address. So a lot of people use a personal Gmail account, which is perfectly fine. I'm actually a Google reseller of Google Workspace. And what this allows you to do is going to give you access to all of the Google suite and to all of these applications like documentation sheets. So you don't need to buy any additional software, and this is perfectly adequate in my opinion for a startup. You can also use Microsoft Office, perfectly fine as well. Choose one of them, you know, whichever you're more familiar with or comfortable with. Personally, I use Google because I think that the tools are really good. You can do a lot of, I think it's pretty much the same now these days between Microsoft and Google, but Google they were the first, I think they were one of the first companies to do this kind of live collaboration tools, like, so you can both edit on the same document. So you've got all your features, you've got meetings, and even if you want to upgrade now, you've got AI tools and AI assistance tools. But I won't get too far into that. So lots of really cool tools with Google. I really like Notebook LM, which allows you to keep notes and also do research. So that's really handy for if you're doing any kind of research projects and you need to get information back to you, any analytical things like that. You can build forms. I don't really use this, but you could do. Yeah, pretty much all the standard things you would expect. So Google Drive or Google Workspace is really good. I think how much is it? I think it's about £14. If it's just you, I think it's about £14 a month, roughly. If you're doing it for a reseller like me, I might charge you a few pounds extra on top of that. So if you need help configuring this, you can reach out, but just Google how to set up Google Workspace and I'm sure you'll be perfectly fine. So let's go back to our website. Let's built that? Yeah, so great. Now we've got a website up and running. Services, yeah, drain cleaning, great. And this is actually pretty cool. Actually, I haven't used this service before. It actually seems to have come on. I checked it out last year. It wasn't very good, but it seems actually this looks really nice. So if we want to edit our content, we can click here, etc. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a website. Change it, edit it, whatever you want to do. And if you want to publish it, click on publish. And now what you're going to need also is a custom domain name. So when you build a website, you're going to need domain name. So I think Hostinger probably, yeah, so Hostinger actually you can get your domain name directly through Hostinger. So it's going to give you this random kind of web address for that, which obviously doesn't look very good. So let's actually make this, the way to make this look better, you want a custom domain like google.com or something, so, or Joe's Plumbing. So to get a domain name, so we're going to type in our domain name, so let's say Joe's Plumbing. Actually no, my name's Alan, so Alan Plumbing. UK or something like that. Okay, so that's $19 a year. Now, Hostinger seems to be a little bit more expensive on domain names, so if you want to save a bit more money, the other way around is go something like Namescheap, which is a service I use. They're really good. I used to use GoDaddy, but I think Namescheap are a bit cheaper. So I think even Hostinger is pretty good for. I think it's like the way they get you is like they charge you, so cheap for the first year, and then they'll charge you more for the next year. So here it's around, yeah, they're giving a little bit of a discount on that one. But anyway, I think Hostinger's fine. Just keep it all in one place. So, click on next. Things that give you less headache, I would actually pay more for sometimes. So yeah, most popular 3 years, you get a decent discount, actually pretty good value, I think. So you click on next, complete payment. I'm not going to do it now, but it's as simple as that. So then you've got your custom domain name set up. So don't overthink things, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. You can get your website, you can get your business cards, you can get all of that set up within a couple of hours, maybe less. And that's it, really, for small businesses. That's the kind of setup that I would go for. It doesn't cost you a lot. You don't need any professional help really to build this. You can just click around and add your own photos, etc. So what used to cost you maybe £5,000 or £10,000, you can do it very cheaply with these self-service tools, and you just need to know about them. So that's my advice for if you're a small business and starting up, plumbing business, etc. Just use that. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions, if you're a small business and just starting out, feel free to leave any comments. The kind of clients I'm looking for are larger businesses. So if you've been around for over 5 years and you're established and you want to take your business to the next level, automate certain things like customer management, those are the kinds of things I work on. So just quickly show you my business is Alan Ops. So we do a lot of complex migration work, platform engineering. So the kind of clients I look for are scaling businesses. So you'd have around £1 million in revenue or over $1 million, already getting traction, already got customers, and you're starting to deal with those scaling issues in your business around the technology, and it might be starting to creak. So you might have started off with some of these low cost free services, or maybe you've built your own website in Lovable, for example. A lot of people use these now. Maybe you need to build an MVP, so you want to scale your SaaS product or your dream app into something more, that's where I can help. So yeah, so that's it really. So if, I hope that's helped some of you out there that are building your dreams and building your business, and we'll leave it there. Take care. Bye.